What's going on YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of Then We Eat. On this week's episode, we're going to be making bacon cheddar jalapeno burgers. So the first thing we're going to do is start making our patties. So we're going to add 1 pound of ground beef to a bowl. We're using regular ground beef. We like the extra bit of fat and flavor we get from it. If you prefer lean, you're more than welcome to use lean. To that, we're going to add 2 slices of bacon and 2 jalapeno peppers. I'm going to give that a quick squish together just to try to get some of those ingredients combined before we add the rest of the ingredients. Next, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1 teaspoon of onion powder. We're also going to add 1 teaspoon of ground black pepper, roughly a half a cup of cheddar cheese, a heaping 1/4 cup of Jack Daniel's sweet and spicy barbecue sauce. It's only heaping because it came out of a glass bottle, and much like the ketchup, doesn't come out very quickly at first, and then it comes pouring out. And 2 egg yolks. I'm using the yolk only because I've done this with egg white and I've done it with egg yolk. The yolk seems to keep the burgers held together much better. I'm doing 2 in this case because I've got the bacon and the jalapeno in there. I just want to make sure it's going to hold together. This is essentially the equivalent of 1 egg, but I would recommend using 2 yolks. I've also done it without any egg at all. Yolk seems to be the best option. So we'll throw those in. And now we're gonna get our hands dirty. Because there's barbecue sauce in there, I'm not gonna wet my hands, but when I go to make the patties, I'm gonna wet my hands just to make sure that the meat doesn't stick to my hands. We're just gonna squeeze that all together, try to get that as incorporated as we can. Now, if you didn't want to add cheese to this, you don't have to. You could either put the cheese on top, or you could try stuffing it in the middle. I've made cheese stuffed burgers before, and I find that the cheese ends up just leaking out of them. So I don't find it's any more efficient to stuff it in the middle than it is just to mix it right into the meat, but that's entirely up to you. Once you get it nice and mixed together, we're gonna start weighing them out. I'm gonna do mine in roughly 4-ounce patties because I prefer a thinner patty, and if I want 2, I'd much rather have 2 4-ounce patties than 1 8-ounce. If you'd prefer a thick, big burger, you can do them that way. It's entirely up to you. But I'm gonna make mine roughly 4 ounces, and we'll be back once I'm finished weighing them out. There you have it. I ended up with about 6 roughly 4.5 ounce patties. As you can see, I've gone ahead and put a little bit of a knuckle hole in it. Not all the way through, just kind of jam my knuckle in it, just to kind of create a little bit of a crater. The idea behind that is that it should keep the burgers from puffing up too much like a baseball. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna stick these in the fridge for about an hour, let them kind of harden up a little bit. It should keep the meat together, should hold them together that little bit better when we cook them. Then we'll come back, we'll fry one up, we'll show you what it's like. All right, patties have been in the fridge for an hour. The pan is nice and hot, as you can see, it's steaming away. Let's throw a patty on, get cooking. So let this fry up for about 4 minutes aside. I'm using a cast iron skillet today. Unfortunately, it's pouring rain outside. Otherwise, I'd be barbecuing. But because of the rain, here we are with a cast iron instead. All right, there we have it. The burger's been about 4 or 5 minutes aside. Should be cooked now. As you can see, mine did crack in half. That's mostly a result of impatience. I didn't quite leave it in the fridge long enough, and I flipped it a little bit soon. One of the issues I had, I got the pan nice and hot, but because I have a sugary barbecue sauce, it started to char pretty quickly, so I had to flip it over a little sooner than I wanted. Just be careful of that. Flip it after 4 or 5 minutes, and you shouldn't have an issue. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna plate up this burger, and we'll be back when it's time to taste it. All right, and there we have it. I've gone ahead, I put mayonnaise on the bun, some lettuce. Now let's give it a shot. A lot of flavors going on there, but it's very, very tasty. That barbecue sauce, I'm a little biased because I really like it anyway, but it's very, very good in this. Garlic powder, the onion powder, jalapeno, you get a little tiny kick, not much of one, little bit of bacon flavor, but it's not overpowering. This is very, very tasty. If you're looking for a burger this summer to impress your friends, this might be the one. That's it for this video. Hit like if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, share it with all of your friends, and hit the notification bell to be notified when we upload next. And don't forget, we put all of our recipes in the description box below. And let us know in the comments, what did you think of this burger? Or better yet, do you have a recipe idea you'd like us to see tackled? We do have a couple burger recipes in the works, a couple copycat recipes as well, so stay tuned for those. But in the meantime, first we cook, then we eat. So good.